Good morning, everyone. My name is Frances, and we are so glad that you are here with us today. Last week and this week during our Kids Moment, we have been learning a little bit about the life of Job. The story of Job is part of what is called the wisdom literature in the Bible, a collection of books in the Old Testament that wonders, who is God? How does our world work? And what is the best way to live in it? Last week, we talked about how Job is a man that had a lot of riches. He loved God and he lived a very comfortable life with a large family, lots of land, and animals. But then Job experiences great suffering and loses everything. Job has a lot of questions for God about his own suffering and why bad things are allowed to happen in the world. Job wanted God to tell him why he was suffering. And when God finally appears to Job in a mighty wind, God instead asks Job questions. Things like, who created the earth and filled the sky with stars? Can you tell the lightning where to go? Can you count the clouds or use your voice to make it rain? After God shows up and speaks to Job, Job says, God, when you showed up and asked me so many questions about how the world works, I realized how much I don't know about your mysterious ways. Job says to God, I am convinced that you can do anything and everything, and nothing and no one can upset your plans. Even though Job wanted answers for why he was suffering, God answered him with questions. And God knew that Job was faithful. Following God doesn't mean that we have to be silent, that we can't ask questions or take our feelings to God. Job certainly wasn't quiet. He had many, many questions for God, and he brought them all to him. God will always hear our prayers and our questions. We don't ever need to be afraid to ask them. God is big enough to handle anything we want to ask. But God might not always answer us exactly how we want or expect. But being in God's presence helped Job to understand God in new ways. And he admitted that he spoke about things he did not understand. How do you respond if there's something that you don't understand? Sometimes we can get defensive and talk as if we actually do know a lot about the subject. Or we pretend, and it's because we're afraid to admit that we don't know something, or we don't want to look silly. But it's okay and it's good to admit when we don't know something, and to listen and to take time to learn. Job probably didn't expect God to answer him with more questions. But the questions God asked Job helped Job to see how much God's creation and how much Job means to God. Job was given a different kind of answer, and he replies to God by saying, surely I spoke about things I did not understand, things too wondrous for me to know. When I question you, you will inform me. I had heard reports about you, but now my eyes have seen you. Job decided to be open and to share with God how he was truly feeling. And we get to share with God too. God knows us. Everything we know and everything we don't. May we have the courage to keep wondering, the curiosity to keep asking questions, and may we seek forgiveness when we forget to listen and to learn. That's all for me this week, kids. I'll see you next time.